Today's video is one that I've really been looking forward to. It's about the Antichrist. So this is part of a series of videos that I'm doing. In the series, you can look for the playlist on my channel. It is called Cosmic Origins. We've explored who God is. We've explored whether or not this is a prison planet. This is episode 3, and we're looking at who exactly is the Antichrist, or what even exactly is the Antichrist. Now, to understand the answer to this question, we've got to understand who Christ is. This conversation is not for Christians only, although I think some Christians may not necessarily vibe with what I'm about to share. So it's definitely not a religious conversation. It is a spiritual understanding. Christ is a cosmic alignment, Christedness. Now, there is a being known as Jesus the Christ, who was a being who had that alignment, and in that alignment, you are connected directly to God's source consciousness, which means connected directly to love, which means connected directly to compassion, to wisdom, to forgiveness, therefore able to perform miracles because you have God's source consciousness flowing through you. Now, I said in a previous conversation with my online community, what would you give if the possibility existed that there was a drop, just a drop, like an elixir of God source consciousness, and you somehow got your hands on this elixir and you could drink it, and you could put God into your body, which meant that you would instantly be filled with divine intelligence, divine love, divine wisdom. Can you imagine how all of your ailments, your creaks and your cricks, your aches and your pains, your illusions and your disillusions, can you imagine how instantaneously all of that would dissolve if you had that elixir? And of course, most of you listening to me would already be saying to yourself, Kerry, we do. Because you do. Because you have that drop of God within you. But there's a very big but here, and that's what this conversation is about. It's not just about what the Antichrist is, it's about why the Antichrist is, and most importantly, it's about how you can access your own Christ consciousness. On the 22nd of November, I'm doing a very important call for my online community. You're invited to join the online community if it feels resonant for you. And in that call, we're going to be doing the energetic alignment, the energetic work that I'm going to be talking about here. So if you're listening to this and you're going, ooh, I feel like I need to be a part of that, check the video description box below and I'm going to leave the details for you. Of course, there are going to be those of you who are going to say, no, that's not my alignment. I just want the information. This video is free for you to enjoy and to share. Christ, or Christic consciousness, is an alignment to God. And I remember first discussing this in a couple, actually, I've dropped a few hints about this in past videos, where I've spoken about the alignment to God's source consciousness being off kilter. And a couple of really upset people spoke up in my comment section and said, Kerry, this doesn't apply to me. I have a direct connection with God. I've always had a direct connection with God, or my guides, or the universe, whatever it is for you. And they couldn't understand this concept that I was presenting about a direct alignment, as if there could be a non-direct alignment. That's exactly what the Antichrist is. The Antichrist, if Christ is your conscious alignment to God, and your ability to drink that elixir, to take it in, if that is what your alignment is, then Antichrist is the opposite of that. It is the anti-alignment. It's the misalignment. I want you to think and have a visual image in your mind of Earth tilted on its axis. Imagine, if you will, Earth tilted on its axis. Then imagine your chakric column, which runs from the base of your spine all the way through the center of your body, up and out of your head. So up through the crown of your head, where it connects to the heavens. And I want you to imagine, this is what the Antichrist is. I want you to imagine that misalignment, just like the Earth's axis. I want you to imagine that instead of connecting as you think you are, as you think you have been, directly to God's source consciousness, that alignment has been purposefully put off course. And this is a very big thing that I'm saying. If you really let it in and you think about it, this means that every time you've been connecting to God, you've been kind of doing these zigzags instead of having this flow, which is why so many people have been frustrated. Why can't I get the answers? Why can't I remember? Why is it so difficult to forgive sometimes? Why is it so difficult to muster compassion when somebody has wounded me? Why do I sit and call people names? Hey, you're a narcissist, you're this, you're that. Why do I get anxiety? Why do all of these things happen if we can connect directly? Well, of course, we haven't been connecting directly. This connection that has been eschewed for so long, has been normalized for so long, and it's allowed for a very dilute and distorted connection to God's source consciousness. Each individual will have forged their own connection, and each individual's connection is as individual as you are. It's totally unique to you. So I cannot say to you, you haven't been connecting to God. I can only say to you, it's been a really difficult thing to have a direct alignment, because if you want to put it this way, our axis, our energetic central core column, which is something that I teach about, has been off center. And this is why enlightenment has been out of reach for so long. The Antichrist is essentially each one of us. It is the anti-Christic, the anti-love. And what does that look like? What is anti-Christic? Well, it's anti what Christ is, which is love. It's the opposite of love. It's the opposite of forgiveness, which is what? It's blame, it's resentment, it's judgment, it's one-upment and one-downment. So in other words, it's subservience and superiority. By contrast, if you look at this pure alignment, what is that? It is acceptance, it is forgiveness, it is compassion, it is love, it is unity, and it is the wisdom. Because have you noticed that there are so many people proclaiming to be so connected to God, whether they're spiritual, whether they're religious, doesn't matter. There are so many people proclaiming to be so connected to God, but what are they connecting to? If you imagine that God's source consciousness is that direct connection, and everybody has been kind of off kilter, creating some kind of a connection, but most often not a direct connection to the true God. And if you look back to the original video that I did in the series about who is God, you'll understand more about what I'm talking about here. We had so many beings of darkness posing as God. Who were we connecting to? Because it was so easy to be fooled when our own radar or our own barometer, put it that way, was off center. Right, we're going to talk a lot more about the Christ and the Antichrist in the alignment exercise that's coming up on the 22nd of November. Join me for that if you feel called to, and of course it's going to be available as a replay, because I'm sure many of you are going to be asking or watching this even after the 22nd of November. Yes, it's going to be available as a replay. Lots of love, everyone. Bye-bye for now.